Good evening, viewers, and thank you for tuning in. This is the Eagle Talk Show on Scope TV. My name is Jojo, and I'm your humble host. We'll be discussing two very important subjects today, and with me, we've got comrades Susan Enitata and Comrade Joel. We'll be talking about the colloquium, cultural diplomacy, and the African Expo Festival scheduled to take place in Germany. Welcome, Comrade Eni, and thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome, Comrade Joel, and thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you very much, Comrade Jojo, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure coming to your show. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll just go straight to the questions. As you tune in, please keep sharing so that other people get this information. It's very important that we understand what is happening in our revolution. We understand what Scope as a group is doing. They've been very active in the background. And this festival in Germany, and Scope has very much involved in it. So I'll go straight to the question. And in simple terms, what is a colloquium? Comrade Joel.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. A colloquium refers to an academic meeting or a conclave where specialists or people prepare some topics. They come and deliver speeches related to topics and answer questions related to those topics. So basically, a conclave is just a meeting where people come and discuss and talk on certain topics.
Okay. So I understand that a colloquium was organized by Scope last June. Do you want to tell us more about this? Who were those who participated? Were they only exclusively Scope members?
Yes, from the 14th to the 16th of June, we organized a colloquium, cultural diplomacy, a colloquium in the vicinity of Frankfurt. The colloquium was not open only for scopers. The colloquium was open for everybody, every Southern Cameroonian who wanted to learn something, who wanted to create some time in order to talk about the revolution from a different perspective. So there were 8 non-scopers, and scopers in total we were 9 scopers, and we had participants from 3 different countries. We had participants, 2 came in from Belgium, and 2 came in from Holland. So the colloquium was a great success.
Yeah, excuse me, before you go ahead, what are some of the topics that you discussed in this colloquium? In concrete terms, what did you discuss? What are some of the things you learned? Because I understand that the forum was meant to educate and to empower participants on how to discuss, on how to interact with their local politicians and in their different countries. So what were some of the things that you learned during this colloquium that you think has helped you to better interact with local politicians?
Yeah, we talked about intercultural communication. Why is it important to communicate and to communicate well? Because most of the time we send out messages without really encoding the message well for the person, for the receiver of this message to encode or to decode it well so that as to know what you mean. So we learn to communicate well. We also learn why it is important. Because, for example, all of us, we are in different communities, in different societies. Why it is also important to know the culture of the society you live in, and not to assimilate or not to take this culture, but to get the basic from this culture that will help you to communicate with the people around you. We also had case studies on how to communicate with politicians, let's say parliamentarians or local mayors and so. So and then we also had cultural diplomacy. We also had
cultural diplomacy. We'll get to cultural diplomacy. Just stick with the colloquium, what you learned. So in a nutshell, what you're saying is that you learned that for you to be able to effectively communicate with people, you need to know about their background and their culture. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes, that is what I say, because the culture and where you live, it also influences you. Although me and you are living in the UK, I'm living in Germany. You have already assimilated, you've already taken some way of communication of the British people. And I've also acquired the way Germans communicate. Like, just take, for example, the body language. If you communicate with a German and you don't look the German in the eyes, the German will suspect you, will think that you have something to hide. You see?
Okay, I'll get back to you. Let me move to Comrade Eni. Comrade Eni, what do you have to say about this colloquium? Did you attend the forum?
No, I couldn't, even though I had an invitation to attend it, but because of other constraints, I could not make it, which I deeply regretted, because from what I was made to understand, this colloquium was made to be some kind of like experts that come together with different backgrounds to talk about how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to actually sell the situation of Southern Cameroon to diverse public and to people. And I thought this was really necessary, but just something happened suddenly that I couldn't make it.
Yeah, you said something very important, that the colloquium was a forum to help people to understand and how to effectively sell the case of the Southern Cameroonian. Considering that this is a very, very important forum, are you going to organize another forum like this? And if yes, when and where? These questions, yeah, to any of you who has an answer to the question can answer it.
Yes, let me answer this question. The next colloquium is already in planning. We owe the participants of the last colloquium because of their response and their wish. So the next colloquium is already in planning, and very soon the information concerning that colloquium will be out. It is our responsibility to look the crisis in a different perspective. It is our responsibility to educate our people, especially at this time. This period, we consider it a period of education where we have to educate ourselves, because the work on ground zero, when we gain our independence, will be more than 100-fold. There will be a lot of work that we'll have to hire experts outside to come and work for us. So yes, a colloquium, we will make it a recurrent event that will be organizing in intervals, let's say 3 to 4 months.
Okay, thank you very much for that very important information. I'll just move to the next question. You talked about a cultural diplomacy. I want you to expatiate on that. What's cultural diplomacy and how important is it regarding our situation?
In essence, cultural diplomacy reveals the soul of a nation, which in turn creates influence through often overlooked cultural, yes, it can create influence. Though often overlooked, cultural diplomacy can and does play very important role in achieving, for example, national security. Cultural diplomacy is just one type of diplomacy, soft power diplomacy, that includes the exchange of ideas, information, art, language, and other aspects of culture among nations, among their people. So that is basically cultural diplomacy, which is just one of the different types of diplomacies that exist. You have, let's say, pacification, gunboat diplomacy. You have quite a good number of them. You see.
Now, I want us to stick with cultural diplomacy. I'll move to Comrade Annie. Comrade Annie, can you say briefly what cultural diplomacy is and how important is cultural diplomacy for our quest for independence?
I think there's no better way for a people to express themselves or for a people to actually identify their values more than culture. All what we've been doing now with our project in Tübingen, we're still going to come to that, the Africa Expo, is actually trying to put the pieces of the African culture, heritage, to the global world, to use it like a tool for communication, for negotiation, for arrangement, for whatever thing, for marketing. Because it's very important, without bringing all the terms into play, just to make a clear difference how important culture is in the world today. And we realize that one of the reasons why the African people, I take it generally because we are operating on a scale of Pan-Africanism, has not been respected or given due respect or attention is because they have never recognized the contribution of the African people to the world, be it in terms of peace. You know, so cultural diplomacy is just the way and life of people. It is different to talk about our art, our music, our potentials, our food, our dresses, our attitude, even just the way we speak. It's not compared to other people or to the Western style of, you know, of communication. Body language, the way we react, all those things, they actually play a key role if we have to take into consideration key aspects of our situation or the current situation going on in Southern Cameroon. And we have to bring out items of who are we first. Knowing who we are, what values do we have is part of our culture. If not, we will not be able to negotiate. We'll just be negotiating from the point of view of a diaspora that has been assimilated, like Joel said before, and try to, you know, fashion some kind of development or some kind of patterns to our struggle, which is not beneficial to us. And so cultural diplomacy to us, it's a kind of a soft skill where let me just say in short, what I like about it is that it's not stereotyped. It's not like anything about culture that we'll be talking about instances like we were saying, human rights abuses has to do anything with culture. No, because if the food is good, it's good. If the music is good, it's good. If the people are talented, if the authors that write their stories is good, it's good. And the world can buy it from every aspect. So cultural diplomacy is a very big tool, though people don't consider it because it's not a tangible product. It's not something that you can, it's more of, yeah, ads. And so what does that picture depicts about a whole people? But absolutely, it gives the whole value and the foundation and the heritage of a people. Concerning the struggle of the Southern Cameroon's people, you can tell a whole story just with a picture, just with a painting, can depict the life, the history, the potentials, the values of the people, just with a piece of painting. And that's why we think that this has been so silenced. Nobody talks about it as a potential, as a competitive advantage, to negotiate our position in this crisis by using cultural values, cultural aspects of us as the people of Southern Cameroon. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that a cultural diplomacy is a way through which we can express our ideas by using our language and using arts and other cultural aspects of life in order
Absolutely.
to sell ourselves to the world so that the world understands us better.
Absolutely, because in the stage of a crisis always has different stages, and it is very common all what is going on now in the situation, because it's not something like it's a crisis like you plan it and then you begin to follow the steps in it. It's just something that happens and everybody is caught into it, and so we have to sort out the different types of way to be able to communicate it. And it's not only the political way. And so we have cultural activists, we have political activists, we have economic activists. All these tools are very vital to be able to depict a whole picture of the people of Southern Cameroon and the current situation actually now.
Okay, I'll move to Dr. Zama, to Comrade Zama. I know you've talked about this. You've talked about our culture and other things. I just want Comrade Zama to say something about briefly about the German African Expo that will be taking African Expo Festival that will be taking place. Where is it going to be taking place, and from what time, which date, from when to when? Just let the people who want to know. Some people might be interested to come. They want to know what this cultural expo will be all about, and what they'll be coming, what they'll be expecting to see, and for how long is it going to take place, and where.
Okay. Thank you very much, Comrade Jojo. The African Festival Expo will be taking place from the 29th of July, barely 10 days from now, to the 4th of August. So this Expo festival has been taking place now for quite a long time, with Comrade Susan being the initiator and the organizer of this expo. So this year, Southern Cameroons will be showcased in this festival. We have a very big area, more than 36 square meters, where we will showcase our culture. Just as Comrade Susan said, the cultural diplomacy is a diplomacy that is being neglected. We do not want to, because for the past 3 years, the world knows Southern Cameroon as where gunshots are being heard every day. So we say we'll bring up our culture and portray our culture, showcase our country in that cultural aspect, where we'll have musicians, we have a lot of our traditional dishes, you have traditional dances, we'll also have more shows, and quite a lot of book reading and presentation. And not to forget, we have a very big Pan-Africanist. Professor P.L.O. Lumumba will be there, and a host of others. We are expecting this year not less than 20,000 people will be visiting that village. So it's a great opportunity for us. And
yeah, we'll get to that.
Let me add this, Comrade Jojo. This show that we are starting this month, we're making it a road show. It'll be a road show, which means after every few months, let's say a group of Southern Cameroonians living in the UK, they say, okay, they want to organize this road show. We'll move this road show to UK. If after a few months, Southern Cameroonians in the US or even again in Germany, in Berlin, Hamburg, they say they want to organize, we'll move this show to this. So it's a recurring show to showcase Southern Cameroon and to sell our cause. The event from the 29th to the 4th of August will take place in Tübingen. Tübingen is a small city beside Stuttgart in Germany. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'll come to you, Comrade Annie. In the advert, I realized that you said 3 countries have been highlighted. That is Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Cameroon. Why these 3 countries? Do they have any things in common? To you, Comrade Annie.
No, it's, I mean, you know, when the Africa Expo has been existing since 2007, and we started just like an African festival in which we had as objective, first of all, to just tell our stories. Because in those days, I mean, we're talking about 15 years today, but it's still like in those days, you could walk on the streets in Germany and you won't find up to 5 or 6 blacks. It's not like in the UK where you also have you already have the first generation of blacks. We are the last wave of immigrants into the German community, and now the first generation is going to be like our kids, because we're like the migrant. And so you could barely hear anything about Africa or see it, you know, except being done even by Germans themselves. And imagine how they will represent. So after I graduated from my studies, I thought, and especially the case studies that I did during that MBA program, they were very depressive. You know, the Africa that they presented, I myself, I wondered, is it another country or another planet existing? And so later on, when we completed, it was very necessary that there is a lack of information about Africa and its people and its culture and its values, and that we had to start something really concrete to begin to educate and inform people. That's how we started the Project Africa Festival, which was mainly at that time focused on, you know, our lifestyle, our music, our food. And since then, we've done 15 editions, reaching out to millions of people worldwide and hundreds of thousands in our region. And we have changed the narratives of Africans in this region tremendously. And so last year, we thought we've done a lot of talking, we've done a lot of showcase. Now it's all about us African people to be able to come together. First of all, try to get our own things together before we even try to sell out the culture. It's always been, you know, promoting Africa, and it always sounds like promoting it for other people. It's never been about us. And so during the course of the projects for the many years, we realized that a lot of us Africans don't even know the value of Africa. We can go around fighting for a cause, and at the end of the day, we are not beneficiaries. It means what? Even in our own struggle in Southern Cameroon, we could go about creating all the rallies, and the other people are going behind very quietly and investing. And so that's why we decided to change it and make it into an expo, because expo is more about, you know, really giving professional and quality information to the target. Why did we choose to make 3 countries of a focus? Actually, it's not 3, it's just 1 country that is focusing each year. And why do we do that? We do that because, you know, our country is 54 countries. Getting to now to the new nations that are coming up, like the Southern Cameroon, could be 55 or 56. And the narrative out here absolutely is like it's a 1 country. Of course, it's a 1 country from its origin. If we were not partitioned, you know, probably we would just, Africa is a flat space and a continent like Asia. But now, because we have these different particularities and the challenges in the different countries, we decide each year to always make a showcase about 1 country, irrespective of all the others. So some projects like the forums would actually be focusing on that. And this country of a focus would have its own kind of like a priority sector, like the village that they will have, where they could meet people to really talk about their issues. And so if we're doing like a parade, it's really going to feature about that. But now we realize that only focusing on 1 country, it's, we will not be able, I will not be alive in 54 years to go around the countries. Oh my God. So we decided to say, okay, we have to put some sub other countries into it. So we could take 1 from the west, 1 from the south, and 1 from the east. Senegal is part, because Senegal has been a part and parcel of the creation of the project, and they are more into entertainment, you know.
Excuse me, you said Senegal, but on the advert it is Tanzania, Ethiopia, and Southern Cameroons.
No, Tanzania was last year as a focus country. Where did you have any advert on that?
Yeah, it's an advert that was posted on the forum. So you need to correct
No,
this. People
no
come there.
advert. That advert was not posted. It was to show what we did, because they wanted an audio visual. The audio visual that we have this year is still in production, dropping in this night. And we had shared that only on this main forum, just for the purpose of to see how the other one was. So it was the one for last year that we shared internally, and that it shouldn't even go out. That's why I'm wondering where you got that from.
Okay. So what
Yeah.
you're saying, you'll be focusing on the Southern Cameroons and Senegal.
Senegal is just a subculture. The main focus country is Ethiopia, the overall. Yeah. But then we have now Southern Cameroons coming up, when they declare their intentions, and we like, okay, the 3 countries will be of interesting, you know, to the audience, because it's something new, and this is a new a culture and a people that are coming up to tell their own stories, and we thought it necessary to give them a priority.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, very important information. So I'll move to you, Comrade Zama. I'll go to the next question. Yeah, you touched on this. You said you'll be expecting 20,000 visitors, over 20,000 visitors. That is really massive. We don't want people to come all across the world just for something which they might consider as normal, or something that they might have had where they are. So what special thing do you have for people who will be coming, so that when they come, they will say, oh yeah, we really really needed to come for this? Is there something special? Because
Yes,
I'm inviting people all over the world just to come and see an ordinary thing.
Ordinary thing, we not for us Southern Cameroonians. Not for us Southern Cameroonians. We have been going through for three years of bloodshed. So we want to use this opportunity, and let me use this opportunity to invite every Southern Cameroonian. This is a Southern Cameroon worldwide event. So it is our duty to let the people know our country, because our country has been sold by others. They have dictated the narrative. Now it's an opportunity for us to dictate the narrative, the information that we send out. We are using this cultural diplomacy, but as just using this cultural diplomacy, but we'll have exposition on all the atrocities that is going on in our country. So basically, each and every one of us, Southern Cameroon, it's supposed to be our duty to sell our country. We are using this opportunity, and we are inviting everybody to come. Just as Comrade Eni said, this is the first event. It will be a roadshow event. If let's make this first event to succeed, for the subsequent road shows to showcase Southern Cameroon be effective. As you said, you are not only coming there to see Southern Cameroon, you also have Ethiopia that will be showcased. We have musicians. I don't know, one of the best, maybe Andy, you put it better. One Southern Cameroonian who sings Miriam Makeba, mistaken. When she sings and you are walking along the street, you will say that this is Miriam Makeba. So she will be there. And then you have a host of African musicians who will be there. We have, as I said, we have a lot of artifacts. We've collected a lot of artifacts. We have traditional groups. We have our culture to show the world. So I don't think anybody who comes, or let's say take holiday during that period and come, will really regret it after.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll move to you, Comrade Eni. I want you to answer the same question. So what do you have that will be extraordinary? Somebody will say, oh yeah, I really needed to come.
It is a 7-day program, and I say that's the best 7 days in 2019, because there's a lot to discover. We have invited musicians from top artists from worldwide, from representing the countries of Africa, the kind of artists that nobody has seen live if you will not be in Tübingen. But apart from that, we are thinking that it's going to be a very big opportunity for us to get out of the box. What does that mean? I mean, when it concerns the Southern Cameroon struggle, it's always been about us looking at the small picture. But getting on a platform like this, you open up to meet other countries. And it's very essential for our struggle now, for us to open up to also see what other countries are doing. Not just staying and to also gain them, you understand, for the to be in solidarity with us. Like we say, in as much as all the countries of Africa are not in security or still in challenges, no other country should have rest. So the 7 days program is full of a lot of entertainment, but also full of a lot of forums and educational programs, especially for young people and for adults. I mean, there's no other place you can be this year without being at the expo. And we have a lot of facilities, like logistic is not a problem. This project is centered, Joel, I want to make a correction. You said in a small city? Tübingen is one of the most important cities in the southern region and in Germany and in Europe as a whole. And that's why we choose to place this project here, because it has the biggest tropical center. It's a university town just as compared to Boya. And if you put Tübingen everywhere, even the biggest alma maters, you know, like presidents that have ruled Germany and Europe, they come out from this university. It's very important for us to talk about the location because it's not just doing a project in Germany, but also the city, how connected they are to this project and to the future of Southern Cameroon. This city is having a partnership with East Mongo Presbytery. I mean, in a church form, it means there are a lot of people from Tübingen that are already connected, you know, be it in a church project, be it in a developmental project. And I can remember even 2010, when we relocated the project from Reulingen to Tübingen, we were advocating for Boya to be a partner city of Tübingen. And so it's not uncommon that Southern Cameroon is going to be represented, and everybody, even the community of Tübingen, is looking forward to this exhibition. They want to see more than just people that are crying every day. They want to see more of these people. What kind of values these people believe in? What are they? Do they have something more than just crying out loud for a problem now? You know, and this is what we want the people to take as a positive aspect for Southern Cameroon, and also for us Southern Cameroonians to get out of the box to say, everybody cannot be crying at the same time. There are people that have to manage the business of selling, you know, our potentials to the world. And Tübingen is a very good partner and a potential partner that if we win for this year, we have a potential partner in future for Southern Cameroon. So I'm
Oh,
inviting you from Scope, and especially your TV to be there, because it's just a project that you cannot explain to somebody. You need to be there to experience it yourself. It's so huge and so massive, and even the attendance, he's talking about 20,000, we're talking about 100,000 people, because we used to get 20,000 in just 4 days, and now we're going to get 1 week, and it's a vacational period. It's a must go. There's no better place to be than in Tübingen this year.
you talk about winning. Is there going to be a prize? What are some of
Yes,
the prizes we're competing for?
yes, we're going to do, because the expo is actually made of sub projects. Like this year, we are integrating sport as an aspect to it. And so there are going to be prizes, but there are also going to be other prizes for like workshops or forums, and especially for children and youth, we're going to do a lot of trainings for them, the African way, telling them their stories. You know, they're going to do drumming, they're going to do music, they're going to do paintings, you know, which is what we don't actually do. We're going to tell them our stories. We're going to tell them our history as Black people and our role, you know, in a modern society. And children that will be competing, or youth in these activities, are actually going to win a prize. So Sunday is going to be like a kind of a sit down award ceremony, where we're also going to give awards to a prominent like a PLO Lumumba, whom we are excited, or the whole world is shaking to see this guy in Germany first, because he's been talking about the scramble of 1884, and now we're going to talk about how this scramble is taking another shape. Is it going to go through Africans, or going to go through the same people that divided us? And so it's really going to be a very fun week, full of challenges, learning, and also a combination of excitement and entertainment, and also party. Why not? Celebration.
Yeah, we need to celebrate. We need to celebrate even in the midst of trouble. Thank you very much. I'm just feeling very excited. Seems as if I should just pack my bag and start coming to Germany straight away. So I can't
Please
wait
do.
for that day to come. So I'll come to you. I'll come back to you because you're saying some very good stuff there that people want to hear. I wanted to elaborate on that. But let me move now to Comrade Zama. Last time we saw some pictures in a museum that you displayed some of the things that have been happening, displayed the pictures of some of the atrocities that have been taking place in the southern Cameroon. Is this part of what you'll be showcasing or displaying during the expo?
Yes, correct. We had the opportunity to do some exhibition from the third no, from the 28th all through the month of April. That was very, very successful. The community, the city mayor of a council in Berlin offered us his hall, his city council hall, where we exhibited some of those atrocities that La République is committing on our soil. And the reaction of the German population, the press, the TV was very, 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 very impressive. And this exhibition that we started will then move to this Southern Cameroon village during this festival. So these 7 days, this exposition of all the atrocities, not only the atrocities, we also have the petitions that some of us have been writing to different politicians or to foreign diplomats will also be showcased. We also showcase the speech of Honorable Weaver that he made at the assembly of La République. So, as I said, we are using now this cultural diplomacy festival to also show the world the atrocities and the carnage that La République has been committing on us. And just before I came into this show, one of the comrades with whom I am involved in this exposition just called me that one of the German press would like to have an interview with us. And let me just send out an invitation again to those living in Germany, or to those living in Germany, because tomorrow, as from 9 p.m., we'll be having a discussion roundtable with about 50 to 70 Germans who are interested in hearing about our struggle. So I'm inviting all those who are living around Berlin or in Germany. If they can make it, tomorrow is Friday, just book your train ticket or you board your car to Berlin, 9 p.m. I'll be sending to you the address that you can run in your show, Comrade Jojo.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to go to Comrade Annie. Is there any way, because I understand that the Germans that have passed through the same situation like in the days of the Holocaust. So it reminds me, because when I see all these pictures, I don't think they are, what happened in the Holocaust are more graphic than the pictures that I'm seeing. Is there a way that you're trying to make them to relate to our situation, our current situation, Comrade Annie?
I think,
yeah, because
if you take let me say what, a drop of water or a teaspoon to drop into an ocean, you know the impact. It's not insignificant as what I want to describe, but I think it is relative. Like we have even communities that are saying, oh, we have 1 million that was killed out here. Even Germans had to eat people because of lack of food during their own challenges. And so the people are some kind of like, we've seen the worst. And if just 20,000 or 50,000 is not yet enough for us to react, you understand? So sometimes you think people that have been through a kind of a situation are supposed to understand your situation. But on the contrary, they would see it like it's not yet bad enough, so it's not even worse than how it's supposed to be. That is why we're doing a combination, or the Southern Cameroon people that are coming with their exhibition are doing a combination. Generally, that's the situation of the festival, or the objectives of the festival, to showcase the potentials and opportunities on the continent, but also to talk about the challenges that the continent is facing from. But this should come from us, African people, how we say our story. So I guess, yes, Germans, they sympathize with the situation because, like, after going through such a mess, nobody wanted the world to be in such a situation again. But unfortunately, it's going on. But the question is, who are those behind? This is what we're trying to. We're not trying to talk to Germans as if Germans are totally ignorant about it. Germans are the first people that are selling or trading with weapons in Africa. And we want this to stop. So if you're doing business, and you know that these products are going to be used in an abused way, then you're also a culprit. So trying to communicate or to project, it's not like selling. It's we are holding people accountable in any way that somebody's involved in causing atrocities in any country in Africa and covering their mouth, sealing their mouths to talk about it. We are not excited that journalists are just standing up now to talk about the story if they want to make a buzz out of it. We are more serious in saying that this is not a joke matter. It happened to you. Yes, you use your experience. You rebuild your country again. And we also are sharing this kind of solidarity because even the people of Africa also has been showing solidarity to issues that are concerning the West. Germany is not excluded into it. And we know Germany is one of the big corporate partners of our country, of Cameroon. And so if there is an issue going on, you cannot be doing business as usual when there is a crisis. So how accountable are the Germans when it gets to countries that are involved in crisis that you are still operating with them? Isn't it a kind of a hypocritical situation? Those are all the questions we'll be raising through these forums and through this information. You understand? We have the top end. Then we have also the bottom end. The bottom end are really the kind of target groups that are coming there that are looking for original information, not the ones that the press will get from them and they put it into their own way, but they want to hear it from the horse's mouth. They want to listen to Joel and his team talk about the situation, and also, how do we move forward? We are not going to stay in a crisis. We're not going to stay in a crisis. No situation has ever been permanent. What is the after effect of this crisis? And that's why it is very important for this platform, the Africa Festival platform. I'm not talking here like only an indigene of the Southern Cameroon. I'm talking about it's a platform for all African countries. So the situation that we're facing in Cameroon today is being faced everywhere. And getting a platform like this is a marketplace. A platform is the best way for you to meet people of different backgrounds and who are interested, And so you could actually say, oh, I was at the expo, I met 20 people. 20 people are people that come to you that are interested in you. We can do a demonstration and everybody's just walking past by. You can share a flyer, they will take it out of politeness, but at the next stop, they're dropping it in the trash can. But if you are at an exhibition where you sit down and people come to you, it means these are the people you can count on them because these are the people that actually are interested in you. I'm saying this, please, I'm sorry. I have to really reiterate on this because we don't know the uses of platforms. The audience that are coming to you is like a marketplace. If you have your shop in the market and people are walking past by and they enter into your shop, it's because your products are good, isn't it? But if you go on a demonstration, it's another way. But I'm talking about a platform right now. And the people that are coming there are coming to you. They're people that you can rely on them to work on them. And then it's a one-on-one kind of thing. It's a face-to-face thing where you can take questions, where they can ask about the situation, where they can sign, where where they can be a member, you know, where you can redirect them, how they can support or how they can contribute. But if you stand on the roadshow and you're just talking and we're sharing, yes, it's awareness, but who is actually concerned about that? We don't know. So that's why it's very important, not only for the Southern Cameroonian, but also for the community at large. Who knows? A German can be there that will sell the Southern Cameroons more than even me that I'm a Southern Cameroonian. So it's a marketplace. We see Germans doing projects for other countries and they do it perfectly. So it doesn't mean that because it's us, it has to go from us. We are inviting everybody that sympathizes with us, whether they are Ghanaians, whether they are Togolese, whether they are Senegal, whether Ethiopians. And I think the best thing about this showcase, about the village, is they are going to invite all the other delegates from the other countries to exhibit, to show this case to them. Some of them have only written about it, they've only seen it, they've heard about it, but they've never had in touch a face-to-face kind of conflict with it. But at the expo, they're going to meet all the 54 countries represented, and they can take each one for coffee in their village and talk about them and have a chat with them and try to dig into their stomach to find out how they feel, you know. So it's very important, and we're excited about that.
Okay, thank you very much again. You said some very interesting stuff again. You talk about holding people accountable, and you talked about the Germans having gone through the same situation that we're experiencing today. But I think there's a slight difference. During the time of the Holocaust, technology was not as advanced as it is now. I don't think they just tend to hear about the Holocaust, what actually happened in chambers after they just saw the pictures. But today we are actually seeing live things that are happening, live pictures. It's just like a movie, which is different. And another thing that you said, you talked about the numbers. Me, I don't think about the numbers because any person, any family that lose a relative or a friend or a child in a situation like this, especially a situation that would have been avoided, the pain will not be reduced because of the number, if you understand what I mean. That pain will not be reduced. If, for instance, you lost somebody, and I lost somebody, and Comrade Zaman lost somebody, and about 10 million other people lost somebody, that's not going to reduce my pains in any way, because we are still going to feel the same pain, each and every one of us. It is about the individual families that have lost their loved ones. It's not about the numbers. Because we always say this, that every life matters. Every life matters. It shouldn't be about numbers. It shouldn't be about 20 million being killed. It should be about that one life that was lost. It should be about little matter that was killed. How is the mother feeling? It's not about the numbers. It's about that life that would have been saved. So I'll move.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
think
You want to
let me
talk?
just this is getting really interesting because this is actually the point where Mr. Zama was talking about cultural diplomacy. And now you're already into the shoes. You're wearing that shoes. Why? Because you express a regret from another point of view, and other people, knowing about their cultural ethics, express it from another point of view. And now that's really the middle point, because we are trying to to make the world understand it's about humans, it's about humanity. It doesn't matter, because we understand that in the Western world, if a dog dies, it will even hurt them more than an African lives. That's the
And it
reality,
hurts. Yes.
you know, and it hurts. So we have to face the reality. It's not a denial that will bring us anything useful. It's the fact. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but I'm using the language of those that are avoiding to get involved to say, oh, no, you know, it's not bad as it seems. And we say, oh, come on, give me a break. It's so bad that when these things keep on going, no wonder you're complaining about the influx of immigrants, you know, which Southern Cameroon is one of the most affected now of this internally displaced and outside displaced people. And don't wonder when they start marching at your doorsteps and you start saying, we don't want it. Germany has just been going through a lot of challenges from this open culture that they did. And you see, nothing matters to them right now. That's why platforms like this, to be able to meet people on a face-to-face basis, is very important. I salute so well this initiative taken by the Southern Cameroon community to say, we have seen this as an opportunity and we want to place ourselves in this, because it's only when you get into it, into the mainstream, that you begin to understand the reality and the facts. When we sit and we communicate and we have thousands of views, how quantitative are these views? Who are our targets? Are we only selling our project to us, whom we already know where the pen hurts, or we want to hold those are accountable, that contribute in one way to the other to this? So this and others are the kind of strategy that we want to put now with this platform, with this roadshow, to say that it is time for us to go recruiting the real people that matters, the people that really feel and need the opportunity to engage but don't have it, just because they hear the news, they see the figures, they don't even know how to engage. But at the
Okay,
Southern
thank
Cameroon
you.
village, they would have a list where you can participate. They will have projects like homeless, as I hear them talking, and other things that they could really just focus and say, if you want to support the internally displaced, this is the contact, this is the number, and this is the person you can talk to. It's very important.
This show is really getting very more and more interesting, but unfortunately we don't have time to continue. But I just hope that before the show, before the festival takes place, we are going to have the opportunity to organize one more show to talk more about this, because it's very, very important, especially the different angles that we are touching. I would like us to just round up. How do you think this is going to impact? How do you think this expo is going to impact or advance our cause for the independence of the former British Southern Cameroons? And I also want to know, to find out if you are going to use this opportunity, this platform that you're talking about, to correct some of the misconceptions, because some people are just so confused. They hear Ambazonia, they hear Southern Cameroons, they don't know which is which. Are you going to use this opportunity to actually give the people the education? Some people feel that Southern Cameroon is in the south part of this, that. So are you going to use this opportunity to let people understand exactly? Because it's important that people understand your history. You will not appreciate it if I pronounce your name Anna instead of Annie, will you?
Not absolutely. And that's why we think it is very important for us African people to first of all start by dealing with our own mess. When I say mess, I'm sorry for the term. It's not a mess that we even caused. There's a lot of education that has to go on for us to even know who we are. I get really upset sometimes when I hear people still trying to correct and say the British Southern Cameroon, and be like, wait a minute, are we a British Southern Cameroon? So does it mean that you want to leave from a from a French Republic Cameroon to a British Southern Cameroon, and you're so proud about it? When I look at the atrocities that Britain alone caused, before you're talking about the German Holocaust, what about Britain? What about Britain? And these are the same
Okay,
people
thank you very much.
that,
You don't
I'm
have to
sorry,
do
I'm
that.
sorry, I'm sorry. But no. This, we have to start with us. Who is us? What do we want? How do we want the development of our countries and the Southern Cameroons? Which turn it should take? What kind of education we want to give for the next generation? And it starts by knowing who we are as an African people, our indigents, and even thinking whether we are not fighting against brother and sister. Thank you.
Okay, Comrade Zama, 1 minute to round up.
Yes, just as Annie said,
30 seconds.
The names we've gotten quite a series of names along our history, not given by us, but by foreigners, like British Southern Cameroon, just as Annie said, you have, we have been metamorphosed and rebaptized from West Cameroon, you see, to Northwest and Southwest provinces, and now Northwest and Southwest regions. So it is important for us to really to tell the world how they have to call us. They have already imposed for the past more than 100 years the way they want to call us. Now we are telling them we are Amazonians, and that is what we are selling out. They should know that there's a country that is called Amazonia.
Thank you very much. We'll keep it there. Thank you very much. Maybe if we have some time, some more time next week or anytime soon, we'll talk about that. I thank you very much. You've all been so very brilliant. I thank those of you who tuned in for the show today. That's all we have for you today. I know the show was getting interesting and people don't want to go away. Myself, I don't want to go away because I have many questions as they were answering. But unfortunately, every good thing has an ending. So this is the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed evening. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.